Surprise, surprise, if you are a Peterbot hater, your hate watch was unsuccessful because both Peterbot and Pollo's trios were able to clutch up the Qual and make it into finals. Also got to see MrSavage's and Mongraal's brand new trios both absolutely dominate today. A lot to talk about, including my predictions, everything to do with the Div 1 opens, how the brand new trios looked. Before the video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try to upload daily competitive content for you guys. Please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. Follow me on my Twitch, link in the description down below, because we watch all of these open tournaments and I'm going to be watching the finals on Saturday as well. Without further ado though, let's start off with the insane performance from the brand new trio, Cooper, Muzz, and Reed. The only trio to hit 1,000 points on either NA or EU was the brand new team of Muzz, Reed, and Cooper. These guys finished with exactly 1,000 points. I'm not gonna lie, it looks so clean to look at. The other thing that looks super clean is them being able to win almost half of their games, getting 8 out of the 20 wins. They also finished the day with 213 elims. They really did just look insane all around today. I said this in my video yesterday. The only thing I am a little bit worried about for this trio is it seems like they are getting a lot of their wins and opens off of high ground, and in the finals I just don't think they're going to be one of those teams that can just like dominate height every single game. They do have 3 insane fighters on their team, so the fighting power is really there on this team, and I think this trio has the potential to be like a top 3 fighting trio. This finals is really just going to show a lot for not only this trio but all of the other brand new trios we have, like second place of Rapid, Booga, and Threats. Now these guys finished with 975 points, won 4 out of their 18 matches. I think the story of this trio is if they place good in the finals, then Booga and Threats will be dropping craze for Rapid. This is also going to be Rapid's first finals performance where he is not going to be IGLing in a very long time, so I'm excited to see him in more of that like support slash fragging role. Third place was Taki, Eshu, and Vert on 918. Fourth was another brand new trio of Kanata, Bolts, and Sphinx on 906 points. These guys were super fun to watch in the opens. Kanata is always going to be so entertaining no matter what trio he's on. Bolts is also officially back on 0 ping now as well. I feel like Bolts is one of those players that is almost a completely different player from when he is on 0 ping compared to when he's on like 30. So I am very excited to see if this team is going to be able to frag out in the finals as hard as they did in the opens. Fifth place is another brand new trio of G-Money, Virgo, and Osid. I'm super happy that G-Money and Osid were still able to find a good third after getting dropped by Kanata, and Virgo has just been looking for a trio for so long that I'm hoping these guys are going to stick together now. Sixth place is another brand new trio of Bryce, Veer, and Dash. Seventh is Scare, Edgy, and Chance. Eighth is Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs on 842. They were able to win 1 out of their 18 games and finished with the most amount of elims in the tournament as well, getting 240 elims. Last Cash Cup finals, they finished 3rd place with most elims. I'm curious on if they can get into that 2nd place spot. I think first is probably locked down by Peter's trio, but I think they do have the potential to maybe outfrag Acorn's trio, especially if Acorn is still going to be on 60 ping. 9th place is another brand new trio of Soneto, Donnie, and Sales, and then rounding out the top 10 was Clover. This is a top 33 qual format though, so some other big names we have is like 11th place of Yapko, Curly, and Rise. If you guys missed yesterday's video, yes, Rise and Yapko decided to drop Muzz for Curly, and they are currently in 11th place right now. I saw a lot of people already saying Rise dropped Clicks, and then Clicks' trio ended up doing better than him, and now Rise is dropping Muzz, and Muzz is doing better than him. I think we need to give it at least 1 Cash Cup week before we just start saying that every teammate that Rise drops somehow gets better without him. Some other big names we have though is like Aviv in 13th, Shadow Curve and Tyler in 16th, Queasy, a full EU trio of Hellfire and Thomas HD in 17th. Back to back, starting off with in 18th place was Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot. They finished with 757 points, won 1 out of their 20 games, and got the 2nd most elims of the day, only behind Clicks with 234 elims. They were pretty much just confidently W-king every single game. They were in like 40th place after day 1, and I saw a lot of people really hoping that they weren't able to qualify, but at this point you just cannot have a Cash Cup finals without this trio in it, and especially we have to see if Peterbot can keep up his streak and win his 13th Cash Cup in a row now. And then the team right under them, a trio that I was a little bit concerned about yesterday, the FNCS champions of Ajerss, Acorn, and Pollo. They finished with 756 points. I don't know if you guys saw the clips or not, but the vibes were really bad between this team yesterday. There was just a mixture of a lot of different things. Pollo was kind of complaining that Ajerss didn't give him the mythic pump, and then obviously the vibes are already going to be off because Acorn and Ajerss are basically holding Pollo hostage to playing with him, and on top of that they were also playing really bad yesterday. the vibes did seem a little bit better today. There was no like crazy Pollo griefing them moment or anything today. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see how they actually do in the finals now. Bakiokas and Cam finished in 24th, the EU trio of Sedihari and Cammy in 25th, and then the NA West FNCS winners of Baka, Pars, and Pump in 29th. We didn't really have any like super big upset trios not be able to make it this week. The only other big names we had not be able to qual is like 56th place of NPen. Noah W Plays was right under him in 57th, and then like Oliver OG in 72nd. Let's actually move on to my top 5 finals predictions now though. First, let's actually take a look at the map. Most of our big name teams are uncontested. Besides like at Flooded Frogs, we have Reet versus Shadow Curve and Tyler, and then Baka, Pars, and Pump and Veer are triple contested, but most of these super good trios are fully uncontested for the last Cash Cup of the season. Starting off with in my 5th place spot, I have the trio of Booga, Rapid, and Threats. I do have 2 brand new trios inside my top 5. Booga is now going to be finally uncontested at Seaport City. I think the ceiling of this trio is like a top 3 maybe, but I don't want to like overreact to them or anything. We've never seen them play a finals with Rapid, and we haven't seen them be unconned yet either. 4th place, I'm going to go with Kanata, Bolts, and Sphinx. The main thing I am super excited about with this team is what is their real fragging potential. We have seen both Kanata and Bolts show that they can be some of the best fraggers in the entire game, and like I said earlier, especially with Bolts back on 0 ping now, this is just going to be such a fun stacked finals to watch. And then the top 3 is just what I feel like the 3 best trios on the region are. 3rd place, I'm gonna go with the team of Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs. I'm pretty sure these guys are coming off of literally getting 3rd place last week. I think the top 3 is pretty much just gonna be the exact same leaderboard. So that does mean that my 2nd place predictions is the FNCS champions of Ajerss, Acorn, and Pollo. This is gonna be a real determining factor on what the real vibes are for this trio, and even if they have negative vibes, can they still perform at the highest level? As I feel like this is one of the only teams on the region that is going to be able to stop Peterbot, maybe even the only team on the region that can. But if their vibes are not good, then we might as well just hand this FNCS win to Peterbot already. So that of course doesn't mean that my 1st place pick is Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. I think you're kind of crazy to pick against a guy that has literally won 12 Cash Cups in a row at this point. These guys are also undefeated in every single Cash Cup they have played now. They have played 6 total Cash Cups together and have won every single one of them. Let me know your guys' own top 5 in the comment section down below though, and let's actually move on to how EU went now. What a time to be alive. EU is officially back with MrSavage fully back, qualifying to be able to play FNCS next week, and Mongraal making finals. Let's start off with the new trio though of Vadil, MrSavage, and Rezon, since they are the only Division 2 team that we're gonna go over, but they finished in 1st place in Division 2, getting 864 points. They won 6 out of their 16 matches and finished with 320 elims. These guys were averaging 20 elims a game. We know that their expectations is they want to be able to qualify for globals. I'm very curious to see if these guys are going to be playing any scrim sessions or anything this week leading into FNCS starting soon, since they don't have any like super stacked set lobby finals practice together, and they're not going to be able to get any either, since this is of course the last Cash Cup. I've seen a lot of people asking me if I think they can pull off a top 5 in grand finals. I think it will be very difficult for them to do that, especially in their 1st season together, and we also don't know what is actually going to go on with their drop spot situation, since it seems like they want to land at Mass Meadows. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. Moving on to Division 1 though, in 1st place is the trio. I mean, hey, all 3 of these guys from the old trio are doing super well with their new teams. Panzer's brand new trio this time of Thomas HD and Uppel finished in 1st place, getting 871 points, winning 3 out of their 17 matches and getting 160 elims. It is kind of crazy how fast things change in Fortnite. We literally just saw the trio of MrSavage, Mongraal, and Panzer finish top 10 in grand finals just a couple months ago, and now they are all 3 with different trios and all killing it, doing their own things. 2nd place is Vico, Vino, and Flixie on 790, and it's looking like these guys are going to have an uncontested Lone Wolf lair. I'll show you guys what happened in a clip when I talk about Malibuca's trio later, but these guys were able to finish with 790 points, win 2 out of their 19 matches, and of course finish with the most elims, getting 200 total elims. 3rd place was I Drop Sky and Scroll on 765. 4th place is actually Casper's brand new trio. Literally like every single big name team that split up from Mongraal, Prism, and Casper to Casper playing with his new trio of Kiri and Noia. All of these guys are just looking super good with their new teams. 5th place is Cringe, 6th is Turtles, 7th is Cade, 8th is Sand Guild, 9th is Prodoxy, and then rounding out the top 10 is the brand new trio, one of the teams I am most excited to see in this finals, of Shark, Trulex, and Noah Riley. Now these guys finished with 733 points. They were able to win 2 out of their 18 matches and got 148 elims. I said this in my video yesterday, but I am just so excited and so happy for Shark. He's literally playing with Trulex, who's one of the smartest players in the game, and then Noah Riley, who is like iconically one of the best fraggers in Fortnite history. And both of these guys together can just mold Shark into his real full potential. And after seeing him really struggle with Kidduo and Chap, I'm just so happy that he is going to be in another finals lobby now. Some of the big names we have just outside that top 10 is like Pink Nebs and Kiro in 11th, finally being able to make it back into finals of Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache. This is going to be the first finals we have seen these guys play in over 2 weeks now. They finished with 702 points, won 3 out of their 20 games, and got 137 total elims. Another brand new trio that's doing well together is 15th place, the team that got back together, the OG duo of Chap and Teeny, and their new third of Skavi. They finished with 694 points, won 2 out of their 19 matches. I don't want to necessarily say I'm concerned about in the finals, but as any team that's going to have Teeny on it, we just don't know what their strat is actually going to be. So this is another fun team that is going to be so exciting to watch. 16th place is Seti, Hari, and Cammy. 21st is Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. 22nd is Pixstorm and Demus. And then in 24th place, the brand new trio of Mongraal, Focus, and Z Andy. These guys finished with 654 points, won 3 out of their 16 games, and got 98 elims. They started off the day pretty slow today if you look at their match history, but then they were able to lock in for their final games, getting a 17 elimination win, 12 elimination 9th, and a 19 elimination win to secure Mongraal's first finals appearance this season. Honestly, just so happy for Mongraal, man. So happy for EU in general. When the big names are doing good, it is just so much better for the game. And that was about it for all of the big names that were able to qualify today. So you do probably realize that there is a couple of big names outside that top 33, like 58th place of Frisk, Tayson, and Chicho. They only got 562 points today. I don't know what has been going on with Tayson ever since trio started. I feel like it might be time for him to make yet another trio change. I just don't really know what exactly needs to change for these guys to start performing again. They only finished the tournament with 75 total elims, so they clearly don't have that much fighting power on this team, but there is just still a long way to go before Tayson can really maximize his full potential in trios. 65th place is Prism, Twite, and Ava Hollow. So it looks like the person that it ended up the worst for is the player that decided to drop Mongraal and Casper of Prism, unfortunately. Hopefully these guys are able to stick together though, continue to grind, and do well in FNCS. And then a team I know all of you guys are curious about, where is Pingwax and Malibuca? They were not able to qualify, finishing in 77th place, only getting 521 points in 20 total matches. Now there is one thing I want to say about this, and some people could see it as controversial. Let me just roll the clip for you guys real quick, and then I'll talk about it a little more.
Vico, okay, all 3 of them loaded into the game. And is Malibuca in this game? Casey Malibuca? Nope. Malibuca's not in this game. Oh, okay. We're starting it off early.
So if you guys are confused on what was happening there, basically Vino, Vico, and Flixie were backing out of a lot of their games if they realized they were not in Malibuca's game. The reason why they were doing this is so that they could contest them off spawn, and since Malibuca was already really struggling after day 1, if you just had another struggle day on day 2, then Vino's trio would be able to be uncontested in the finals. Now, is it a smart strat? Yes, 100%. Is this against Epic Games' TOS? I'm not gonna lie, I honestly have no clue, but I mean, hey, it ended up working out at the end of the day. So Vino, Vico, and Flixie are most likely going to now have the best POI in the game completely uncontested. Taking a look at the actual map now, you will probably notice a couple of different things, like one that is very unfortunate, that Mongraal, Zandy, and Focus are going to be contested by Axe Force, Della, and Bevies. Now, how do I actually think this off spawn fight is gonna go? I honestly have no clue. I don't know how good Bevies is at fighting off spawn. I think from the last season that Mongraal played on NA, we saw that he is a pretty decent off spawn fighter, and even when they were fighting off spawn with Savage, they're pretty decent as well. If I just had to make a prediction, I would probably say this fight is gonna go like 3-3, just because I don't know a crazy amount about the other trio. We also have Crime City contested by Teeny and Chap versus Kidduo, Cheeps, and Skrill, and then most of the other big names are completely uncontested. This is going to be one of the best, most stacked EU finals in a very long time. Let's get on to my actual top 5 predictions though. Starting off with in 5th place, I'm gonna go with the trio trio of Thomas HD, Uppel, and Panzer. Now these guys were able to finish top 3 last week. They are still uncontested. Thomas HD and Panzer are some of the best aimers, some of the best surge gators in the entire game. And then Uppel is a super underrated fragger now as well. I think they can 100% pull off a top 5. And then 4 through 1 is just what I feel like are the 4 best teams in this lobby. Starting off with, in 4th place, I'm gonna go with the trio of Cammy, Seti, and Hari. They have been so consistent this season, and I think you could 100% put them higher if you wanted to. I just think the trios above them are going to get more elims than them, and that is really going to be the difference between like a 5th place and a top 3 for Cammy, Seti, and Hari. Just based off of their pure consistency alone, they could 100% still be in that top 3 if you really wanted them to. 3rd place, I'm gonna go with the trio of Venya, Pixie, and Marius. This is the defending, the reigning Cash Cup winners from last week. Do I think they'll be able to go back to back? Most likely no, but I do still 100% believe they can pull off a top 3 and maybe even a top 2 if some extra things go their way. And then the top 2 is just the 2 best trios on EU. 2nd place though, I'm gonna go with the team of Queasy, Swizzy, and Merstash. Now you guys can call me crazy for this in the comment section down below. I know that they have won every single set lobby finals that they have made from week 1 and week 2, but these guys have honestly just been a little bit slow since Merstash came back, and I just don't feel like I can predict them to win the finals yet. Do I think they're capable of it? Obviously 100%. I literally have them in 2nd place. I just don't think they're going to be able to beat out the team that arguably has the best drop spot on the entire map, the FNCS champions of Vino, Vico, and Flixie. If Vino, Vico, and Flixie do not win this week, then I'm not going to lie, I would honestly look at it as a pretty big disappointment. They decided to change their whole drop spot, fight the only other team off spawn that has qualified for LAN, and are potentially risking their whole season. If they don't win this week, then they're almost doing all of this for nothing. Crazy day in the Fortnite competitive universe, man. We had so many different things happen today. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter @ChiliKDog. Keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.